Hello everybody, this is me and my contrabass recorder wishing you a happy Christmas and Happy New Year. Cześć, mam na imię Andy. Dzisiaj jest 24 grudnia. To ważny dzień w Polsce. Właściwie dla Polaków na całym świecie to ważny dzień. Więc chciałbym powiedzieć Wesołych Świąt i szczęśliwego Nowego Roku 2021. I tried to say Happy Christmas and Happy New Year 2021. Mam nadzieję, za przyszłym rok będzie dobry w przyszłym roku uczyć się polskiego. Również trochę węgiel i oczywiście keltycki. Myślę, że tak, nie wiem. Podobała mi się nauka polskiego w tym roku. Rozmawiałam po polsku z moją wolontariuszką Małgorzatą. Rozmawiałam po polsku z klientami w sklepie, w którym pracuję. Pewnego dnia będzie mogło mówić po polsku. Tymczasem muszę wiedzieć ćwiczyć. Okay, I'm still finding Polish quite difficult. Look at me, I've got a Christmas jumper on, by the way. I just wanted to go through a review of my Polish over the last year. So I didn't really start learning Polish properly until about May this year. I just wanted to show you some of the resources that I used this year, actually. So I started off actually when I dipped in and out of Polish before. So I did really try dabbling in Polish a little bit before this session, and this is one of the things I used to start off with Get By in Polish. It's just a basic BBC book and CD, and I used this a while ago, before I learned Polish properly. And it's just one of these things, like a phrase book with phrases to help you start off. So that was quite good. And I also had this book that I bought ages ago, but I'd never really used. And I started working through some of the exercises. So Colloquial Polish from Routledge. They're quite good books. They're a bit like Teach Yourself books. And it goes through the alphabet and basic grammar, so it gets more and more complex as it goes along. It's a bit like learning rather than acquiring, so I'm not a great fan of Teach Yourself books, but they're good for having a look. I think when you first start, you get an idea of the language, and they're good for referring to as well. This was a main book that I used, actually number one, so this is Po Polsku 2, Hurrah. I bought these online a few months ago in lockdown, and they're good exercise books because they have exercises that you can do. You fill out the exercises, and there's a CD to go with it, so there's lots of audio content as well, which is really important. So it's like comprehension and writing, reading and everything, so it's quite good. But I've worked my way through number one. I didn't get quite to the end, but I did quite a substantial amount of number one, which was great. And I had a teacher as well for a little while in the summer on Italki, and she had a similar book to this. I can't remember what it's called, but it's more or less the same kind of thing. And she used to give me lessons from that as well. So that was good. I bought this book. I think I got this from the Book Depository, which is a great website for buying language books, and it's really aimed at class 4. So I believe that's like 8, 9, 10-year-olds maybe. I'm not sure, maybe a bit older. And there are, actually it's probably older than that because it looks a bit more complicated, but there are excerpts and reading exercises here and comprehension exercises. So I worked through a couple of these. And then there was a poem later on that I tried to learn, which is called Dokuch Eniego, or Eniego. And I learned a few verses of this, but when I posted a video about it, my Polish subscribers commented and said that this was a bit complicated and there were lots of words in here that weren't really in everyday use in Polish. So I decided to stop using this book. And I thought I'll keep it and maybe go back to it later when I've got a bit more Polish knowledge. I bought this book, which is called Czasownik, and it's a workbook. And I think I've got this from the book depository as well, or maybe eBay, I'm not sure. It's by Piotr Gonczarek, and on the front it says B2. So I don't know if it's level B2. Probably, because it's really beyond me. I don't know what level I am, maybe A1, A2. But I want to use this book next year and I want to be able to get to the end of this book. So this is my target in Polish for next year, is to be able to work my way through this book and to acquire some more Polish. So that's my Polish. I don't normally wear a Christmas jumper. This is the first time I've ever worn one not on Christmas Day. I'm not a fan of them really, and don't really like jumpers very much anyway. And it's a bit jazzy, isn't it? So anyway, I just thought I'd give a quick update on my Polish, and my plans for next year are that I'm going to continue with Polish. I'm going to continue with Kurdish as well. So I'll be continuing with the Glossica, even though I'm finding it a bit boring. I'm trying to make it interesting by manipulating the content of Glossica myself. And how I'm doing that is by taking the sentences and the phrases and just substituting some of the vocabulary for my own. So that's okay, that's kind of working for me. Chinese, I'm just doing things like watching Netflix, watching TV series, trying to develop my Chinese that way. And I'm going to start learning Hungarian. So it probably sounds like a lot to do, but I've been dabbling with Hungarian for quite a few years now, and I haven't actively really learned. I've never sat down and actively learned it, other than to doing a few Pimsleur lessons. And I worked with a Hungarian lady for quite a while, for about a year, and she used to give me phrases to learn, and like not tongue twisters, but sort of proverbs and things like this. So I learned some of those, and I know all the numbers up to 1,000. So every time we used to have a sale on the till, she used to ask me how much was it in Hungarian, and I used to say to her like £58.63 or something like that. Although we never really sold that kind of amount, but she used to test me on odd kind of numbers. You know, what is 58.63 plus 47.12, and I used to add it up in Hungarian. So my numbers are good, but I don't really have much other knowledge yet. As I've said in my last few videos, I've got a Spanish teacher who teaches Hungarian. That might sound a bit weird, but this is another reason why I'm learning Hungarian, because he's from Colombia and he speaks good Italian and good Hungarian. So he's going to teach me Hungarian, but through Spanish. So that's going to help me maintain my Spanish that I've already learned in the past. Also this year, what I've done is, I mentioned this in a video I made yesterday, was that I wrote down all the languages I've ever tried to learn, and some of them I've only really, learned a little bit of them, a few phrases in each. And I wrote them all down, and I thought to myself, which one of these languages would I really like to learn? Which one of them do I need to learn? And which ones am I passionate about? So Hungarian came out really high, with a really high score, because I'm quite passionate about it. I love Hungary. I've been there a couple of times. I have some Hungarian friends, and I have Hungarian customers in the shop. So, and 2 of my volunteers speak Hungarian. So one is Hungarian, the other one is a Slovakian lady. So both of those converse in Hungarian with each other, and I never really understand what they're saying. So I'd like to be able to understand that, and it will be another language that I want to learn. So I've chosen an easy one, Hungarian, haven't I? Not. So that's my plans for 2021. Happy Christmas, everybody. Stay safe, and I'll speak to you soon.